Hey everyone, it's Megan Densmore. I know that I did not post last week. Thanks for everyone who commented and checked on me. I've been pretty transparent about the fact that 2017 has been a super rough year for me. I'm not quite out of the woods yet, but I hope to be soon. And as with anything like this, generally when we have a period of time like I've been going through, it tends to be for some good reason. So I've been trying to keep that in the back of my mind. And one of the things that I have been including is also transparency about talking about that. So thank you. If you don't know me, my name is Megan Densmore. I'm an actress, producer. I am a health expert and a fitness expert as well. I have called myself a freedom coach, and one of the things that I'm going to do in this video today is to clarify a bit of the context around what that means and what you can expect from me in these videos moving forward. So, again, just to sort of touch on sort of the reason I didn't do a video last week and some of the things I've been sharing, I continue to be an advocate for mental health awareness, and whenever we go through tough times in our lives, and I've had a bunch of events occur that are like outside of my control, I'm gonna react to those, and I have feelings and I have experiences, and I get depressed sometimes, I have anxiety sometimes. So I'm gonna continue to be responsible and be transparent about those things and be someone who's willing to talk about that and be willing to be present here either when I'm having a bad day or let you guys know that I need some self-care time and I'm not going to be able to show up in the way that I normally would. So if you ever need support or have questions around any of that, please feel free to comment below or send me a message. I do read messages, and my Facebook profile is public for a reason. I like to connect with people and I want to broaden my reach. Okay, so that's that. Now, I want to talk about a topic today, and then I'm going to bring us back into the idea of the context of what's going to be happening with these videos moving forward. So first of all, okay, I am a Pilates instructor. I'm a personal trainer. I've been in the fitness industry for over a decade. I'm also a health coach. I've done Precision Nutrition, which is a really awesome nutrition certification. I'm also an expert in supplementation. I've done a lot of research and been had a lot of education around how to use supplements, what they can be used for, looking at safety, looking at quality, looking at value, all of those kinds of things. So I've been around the block when it comes to fitness, nutrition, all of those things. Everyone always is telling me I'm not motivated. I can't do XYZ thing, fill in the blank, because I'm not motivated. Or I don't have the motivation to blah, blah, blah. Or I'm not a person who has the motivation. Usually it's around, for me, it's like the context of like, oh Megan, I could never do what you do. I could never follow the diet you follow. I could never stay committed to an exercise program like you do. I never could compete in a sport. I'm not motivated like you are. What if I told you that if I went with what I was motivated to do on any given day, all I would ever do is sit on my couch watching Netflix or movies while knitting. That's all I would ever do. That's all I'm ever motivated to do. I would even order takeout because I'm not motivated to cook for myself. I'm motivated to sit on my couch, which is right over there, knit, relax, put a blanket on my lap, talk to no one, and watch quality programming. That is literally all I'm motivated to do on any given day. So, how do I train? How do I stay in such good shape? How do I follow a nutrition plan? How do I make sure I stay healthy given my background, which is going to be part of our context moment in a second? The short answer is I don't rely on motivation. I don't assume or expect that I'm going to be motivated to do any of the things that I would like to continue to do to stay healthy. I assume that I won't be motivated to do any of those things. In fact, I expect to not be motivated, and I expect to sometimes have to struggle through things and do them anyway. So let's then look at how do things get done if motivation is not what we're looking at. So one of the things that I do that I find really effective is I change my location. I know I've probably talked about this before, but I change my location and I set up a series of a chain of events that then allows me to get into a habit of doing the things that will actually keep me healthy. So instead of focusing on motivation, I create habits that become like I don't even have to think about it. I wake up in the morning, I usually get a drink of water, I might go to the bathroom. I come back, I put a heart rate monitor on, and I take my heart rate variability. I'm happy to talk more about that in another video. That'll be back to our context. I take my heart rate variability, which is really important to me because it lets me get a better understanding of my nervous system, both my sympathetic and my parasympathetic nervous system, so I can make good choices about what my exercise will look like that day. That might mean that I change up what I'm going to do. It might mean that I hold back on, maybe I won't go as heavy if I'm weightlifting. Maybe I will do a recovery workout, or maybe I'll do more of my mobility work or something like that to make sure my body is adjusting. So I wake up, take my heart rate variability. Great. Then I get up, have some water. I put coconut oil in my mouth. I do coconut oil pulling every single morning. Sometimes at that point I'll shower and sometimes I won't, depending on what's going on. Then, while I'm doing the coconut oil pulling, or after I've gotten out of the shower, I immediately put everything in the blender to make myself a green smoothie. And I take my green smoothie and I take my vitamins. So already, in less than an hour from the point that I've woken up, I have done multiple things that remind myself that the time that I spent and my commitment to my health and wellness is present. The very first thing in the morning. Then it depends on the day how the rest of it goes. And I will physically then walk myself to the gym. So let's say it's a day that I do not want to lift weights, I do not want to work out. This happens often. I put my clothes on, I put my shoes on, and I physically walk myself to the gym. I get myself onto the gym floor, I get a mat out, and I start my warm-up, and I allow it to be okay if I don't want to do whatever the workout is. I don't worry about it. I allow it to be okay. But I change my location, and usually by that time, again, habitual chain reaction. I get my mat out. Then I start my mobility. My mobility is done. Okay, I set up the squat rack. I'm ready to start doing my workout. So the habitual things lead one into the other. And before I know it, I've been able to complete whatever it is that I needed to do for my health that day. And if I fall off the wagon or fall off track or want to do something else, I don't make that mean something bigger about my larger process and my larger ability to stay connected to my health, because guess what? The next morning, I wake up, I put my heart rate monitor on, I do my coconut oil pulling, I make my green smoothie, and here I am back again, square one, focused on focused on the fact that I care about my health. So I've literally created a structure of habits that I can follow through on in order to not assume that motivation will be present for me to do any of these things. So what I want to offer to you is, what is one thing that you can do, ideally early on in the day, that sends the signal to yourself that both you matter, you care about yourself, you love yourself, and you value your own health, that will then start to create this habit so you're reminded the first thing in the morning that matters to you. Okay, so feel free to comment below, feel free to share this video if this concept is helpful for you, so that we can just sort of let go of this idea that anybody is very intrinsically motivated to do this stuff. Maybe some people are, I'm not, so maybe I'm the minority. I don't know, but it just seems like this is something I hear enough that must have a bigger context. So, okay, so that's my sort of tip for today. Now I want to talk to you a little bit more about what I'm going to do with these videos. Okay, so I've been doing these Friday live videos for quite some time. And I see now that part of my problem with these videos is that I've been doing them without an overarching context. I might have had a weekly message or a weekly connection or some sort of thing, but my overarching context was too broad. It was just freedom. Let's have freedom. That seems cool. I like freedom. People like freedom. Great. But that wasn't specific enough for me to figure out what these should be doing and what I hope people will get from them. So so I'm giving this a context now. And I would, again, love to hear your feedback, love for you to share with me if this is something you see valuable, and if there are specific topics that I can cover within the context. So, what most people know about me, or many people know about me, is that I technically have a chronic illness. Hilarious, given the fact that I literally compete as a weightlifter. I am a fitness professional, again, I'm a health professional, and I'm, to most people, one of the healthiest people that they've ever met. To the point where nobody invites me out for drinks, which is like kind of a bummer. But also I don't really drink, so I really understand why they don't ask me out for drinks. People don't even think I will eat French fries. Totally untrue. Like, I will eat French fries. Like, balance, it's like about balance, nothing about extremity here. So anyway, back to the point. For a lot of people, I represent one of the, like, if not the healthiest, or one of the most healthiest and fit people that they know. But I love to joke that I technically have a chronic illness, and I've had it for 20 years. So what I have to offer, and what I can express some support and specific details around, is this bigger concept of, I found freedom in my health and fitness despite having a really massive obstacle. So what I want to start to do, and I have a problem where I don't necessarily give myself the credit I should have around what I've learned over the past 20 years of figuring out how to be healthy and fit, despite the fact that I have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and a million other related conditions that fall under that sort of umbrella. I don't give myself credit about the things that I've learned, because I've learned them from so many incredible fitness and health professionals who I feel like know more than I know. I'm always going to feel like there are experts in health and wellness who know more than I know. That's just how it's going to be, and I'm always going to continue to keep learning. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to understand that there are things that I've put into play, for example, like this idea of motivation. Sometimes I'm going to be talking to you. Sometimes I'm going to be just giving you concepts that you can apply in whatever way has value for you, and it might be a concept that applies both to health and wellness and to all of the other aspects of your life. Generally, that's how that works. I'm also going to try to drop in some little tidbits of nutrition, although I will say that from a nutrition perspective, that's really it's different for everybody. It's really individual. So what works for me as far as food might not work for you. Maybe your cultural background is different. Maybe your exercise needs are different. Maybe your output, you see what I mean? So we'll sort of make that work as far as general information. And then every now and then I'm going to debunk something around fitness. So something that I bring to the table is I love to humanize everything. I don't like to make it complicated. I don't like to talk in scientific terms. I sometimes don't even know what they are. But I have a really deep understanding from an internal perspective of having had this big block and having figured out how to be healthy and fit despite it, or because of it, or that's a little unclear. I might have been inspired by it. We'll talk about that a little bit too. So I want to be a resource for you guys, and I want to use this information to bring it back and to help you provide freedom for you through just whatever information I can find helpful in that context. So these videos moving forward are going to be a little more health and fitness focused, but they're still going to have general concepts that apply to your everyday life and creating freedom. So again, I hope that context is interesting to you. I thank you for everyone who's been tuning into these videos and sharing them after the fact and watching them after the fact if you don't even watch them live. Comment below if this sounds interesting to you. Check out my website. I've got a couple promos coming up soon that I'll share about. And yeah, I look forward to helping all of you find your freedom. So again, I'm Megan Densmore. I am an actress, producer, and freedom coach, and I am excited to support you every Friday moving forward. Have a great weekend, everybody.